All right, you're back. Thanks for coming back. I hope you got your materials ready. Again, we're going to do continue with a project about uncertainty, and we've already kind of discussed what that means. And now it's time for you to stop. And I want to say something real quick too. I talk about using a word to be your inspiration. All artists have an idea. Most artists do not go into their studio and just start painting without thought, right? Most artists have a really good idea of what they're doing way before they start sculpting or way before they do their watercolor or their oil paintings or their drawings. Now, it may change as you progress, but every artist has this concept, this idea. So that's not anything new I'm asking you to do. You need to stop and you need to think about what gives you uncertainty, what gives you a little flutter of uneasiness because you don't know what's going to happen or not happen. Like you're supposed to go to the fair tomorrow and it rains and it doesn't. It rains and so you can't go to the fair. That's uncertainty. Oh, I hope it doesn't rain, I hope it doesn't rain, and then it rains. And sometimes I want to go to the fair, and it doesn't rain and you go to the fair. So it can be one or the other. But anyway, thanks for coming in for the part 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on mine again. I'm going to try to do the same thing. But again, I don't want you to, unless shadows are something that makes you uncertain, then you can kind of copy that if you want. No big deal. But I know that every single one of you, I don't care if you're in the 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, we all have these little things that we kind of worry about, and it's uncertain, and it just kind of gives you this creepy feeling that things aren't settled. Things are just kind of up in the air, and you wish that they would become settled, so you don't have to think about it anymore. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So anyway, I think it's a good idea to think about stuff like this, and so let's quit me talking about that and let's do this art project. Okay, well, I'm going to redo this one, but again, you can do whatever you want. Try to, before you start drawing, get your idea. It could be something like your cat is sick, and so you're kind of worried about that and uncertain. It could be going on vacation, that, well, if everybody stays healthy and stuff, we're going to be able to go to a vacation, but we won't know for another week or 2 if we're going to be able to do it. It's that uncertainty. It doesn't have to be an uncertain thing that's really, really important. It could just be something that just kind of makes you feel, gosh, I wish this was settled. Okay? So with me, what I did is I wanted to draw a shadow. And how do you draw a shadow? So shadows are created by light, right? And the absence of light. So I started out with a doorway like this. And I use something, and if you guys want to learn about perspective, give me an email and I'll set something up and I can teach you perspective if you want to. But for right now, I'm just going to, instead of having the wall that has the door in it, like this, I'm going to make the ceiling the walls and the floor. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make like a little frame for the door. And then because it's a silhouette, this guy is a silhouette. I don't know if you know what that means. A silhouette is the outline of anything. It could be a vase, it could be a lamp, it could be a person, it could be a dog. It's just the outline of whatever you're drawing. That's a silhouette. So in this case, my silhouette is of a person. So it doesn't have to be a perfect looking person, right? And of course this isn't, because this looks terrible. There we go. There we go. Now, the shadow itself, see, it's just kind of a blobby thing. It's not, and that's what's kind of weird about shadows, is that they're there, they're not there, they're there, they're not there. So I brought out the legs like this. And then I've just made this big kind of lumpy. There we go. I know, I could do better than this. I'm just trying to do this kind of fast. Okay, so that's basic. That's the basic design that I have. Again, I want you to really try your best to come up with something, because we're all different. We're all different, but at the same time, we're a lot alike too. We're talking about uncertainty, and everybody's uncertain about some things, right? So that makes us alike, but everybody's a little different on what makes people uncertain about certain things. I think it's really interesting that artists through the ages, I mean, ever since there's been artists in the world, they have tried to capture all kinds of things, meaning they tried to capture adventure, love, hate, scary stuff. And that's why it's so cool to, whenever you guys, if you guys go to the university, college, take an art appreciation course, because people have been creating art about uncertainty, among other things, forever. I mean, forever. It's kind of part of being human, Now, granted, if we could read minds or tell the future, we wouldn't have uncertainty, but, that doesn't work, right? Here we go. But there is several artists from the past. One, his last name is Dürer. I think it's Albrecht Dürer. And talk about drawing. He drew pictures, really intricate pictures that were about what ifs. If this happened, would this happen or this happen? If if a building fell down, what's going to happen? Okay, it's going to fall down, but is there going to be any other things that are happening that are caused by the building breaking down? Creating uncertainty. He's a really cool artist. And if you like just drawing, I know I've got several students that don't like to use color, but this guy's really great because it's all pen and ink and pencil. Really, really cool artist. And you can check him on the online if your folks allow you to do that. I don't know if they allow you to do that. Here's my black. Okay. Oh, that's green. Oh, there it is. Okay. So keep this in mind when you're doing your art project. I want you to draw enough information, meaning enough detail, to show everybody, not just you, not just me, but shows everybody exactly what you're uncertain about. Because if you can't give me enough detail, or if you don't draw it right, there's going to be people that look at it and go, well, what's that all about? You know, they won't be able to understand. So actually what you're doing is you're trying to tell a little tiny story about something in your life that is kind of up in the air now. Are we going to move to a new house, or are we not going to move to a house? Mom and Dad said we're going to be moving in a month, and here it is a month and a half later and we haven't moved. Are we or are we not moving? That creates a certain kind of tension in our body that we really don't need, right? I know I don't need. You don't know this yet, but one of your jobs as being a human being on earth is to get to a point where you're not worried about stuff like that. Granted, we can't predict what's going to happen. We can't make something so just because we want it so. But this is what I believe anyway. It's my job to figure out what makes me happy, go to that. What makes me unhappy, stay away from that. It's our jobs as people to figure out for ourselves what's going to make our lives better. Nobody's going to do that for you. Now, granted, you're still in school. You're still young kids. You've got a long, long ways before you really have to start worrying about how your life is going to be when you're my age, right? That's just silly. So, anyway. How are you guys doing out there? I hope you're following me. I hope you're thinking about these things. And one of these days, I would love to be able to see these. Maybe when we get back into school, I might have you in one of my classes. And if you do, save this artwork, because I would love, love, love to be able to see it. Okay? So, we are about out of time right now. I'm glad you showed up today. I always love it when I find out that, people are viewing the work and the projects that we do. It's cool too, because if you've missed something, you could always go back and watch it to get the idea. Or if I'm just rattling on so much, or you block me out, or you don't understand what I'm saying, you can go back and hear me again if you can believe that. But anyway, I want to thank you for coming today. It is my joy and my pleasure to come in here every week and present something to you guys. You're the reason I do it. Anyway, have a great week. Stay out of trouble and be safe. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.